Welcome to the Brave Talkshow, the show for brave women craving the connection that comes with real conversations. We are 4 unique women coming together with different perspectives, passions, and experiences. Our goal is to foster healing and connection by making the uncomfortable comfortable. Let's be brave here.
Welcome to the Brave Talk Show. Brave women, bold topics, nothing is off the table. Producer Emily McClean filling in for Brittany today while she's out. And we're talking about the next generation of motherhood. We want to break generational cycles without the guilt.
Ooh.
Yeah. I am raising 3 mothers right now. I have 3 teen girls.
Oh, it's an interesting way of thinking about that. I'm raising 3 mothers right now.
3 mothers.
I am. And as much as I love my mother, there are things that I would like to see improved. I'm the only daughter, which also makes for a hard mother-daughter relationship sometimes. And I don't know, I'll start out. My big thing is communication. I feel like if I can communicate more openly and on an age-appropriate level, and at that, as they get older, then that grows with them, then that's a big thing to me about breaking a cycle of feeling like sometimes as a kid, I didn't feel like I got adult topics discussed with me. Like I shared in another episode, I got pregnant as a senior in high school. And the year before, one of my good friends that lived around the corner, his girlfriend pregnant. And the discussion was, now you're not going to do that, are you?
Wow. Well, that's not a discussion. That's a statement.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. And there was not even a full discussion of how that could come about.
Oh, so you did not have the sex talk at all, and then kind of figured it out on your own with
friends,
with your boyfriend or whatever.
Friends talked about it.
Yeah, that's
maturation program was not sufficient. In case any of you parents are wondering, but I think we've learned that one. Hopefully, everyone knows
did
that.
Did your parents know you were sexually active, or was it like a total shock?
It really was more. I wasn't really sexually active. It just was
like literally one
boyfriend, and
pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah.
But the thing was, they knew the guy was 2 years older than me, already had an 18-month-old. And again, that discussion was very much just like, you're not going to date him, instead of like, hey, let's sit down and talk about pros and cons. Education, which is like, no, you can't date him. So
and then
again, clearly I didn't break up with him. Like these kind of just laying down mandates doesn't really.
And then I bet when you got pregnant, you got met with a lot of, I told you.
Well, they asked how it happened, and it was so inflammatory in my house to talk about sex that my answer was, because I didn't tell them, the baby mama from baby number 1 actually called my house and told them, which was great. And I didn't have to think about how to do it, but it was kind of annoying.
Oh my gosh.
So I sat down and they're like, how did this happen? And it was so wrong to say this. I was like, sex, S-E-X. Because you just didn't say those things.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that was kind of like your middle finger.
That word.
Like, it was kind of like, you're like, well, duh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think it happened?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference now in raising children, especially, being a mother. You have to have this conversation, you have to be able to like educate. And I know people are thinking about like, well, this generation, if you talk to the older people, they're like, you guys are teaching your kids how to have feelings, how to but it's like, no, we're just educating them. So instead of them running towards fire and being like, and then they get burned and then they come back and be like, oh my gosh,
yes.
They actually been like, oh, okay, I've been taught about this. Let me process it. Let me think about it before I make this decision. And I think, I don't blame some of these Gen Z not wanting to get married. I'm just going to say it. I don't blame them.
Okay. I have some really interesting questions about this.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot that we can dissect with this. And so I'm going to throw this out there and let it go wherever it goes. But this was interesting to me. It says, are we raising kids we like, or are we just trying to heal the kid we were? Meaning like, are we often just parenting what we wish our inner child was, or are we actually parenting our children?
I like my kids.
I like my kids.
I don't know how to answer that, but I do know I like my kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm parenting them not because of like, oh, this is the kid. Because I feel like for me, I love the relationship I had with when I was in Haiti with my mom. Like I still remember those memories with her. And I think I tried to parent like she did, because she was not only a mom, she was just like invested in like as a mom. And she really wanted to be like, she was present. Like even being in Haiti, we didn't have it, but I know like I always felt like my mom will have my back. My mom will make sure we're okay. My mom, like that safety net that she created, regardless. Like I remember this time we didn't have like nothing to eat. And she would make sure like she works hard and we have the nice clothes. We have those things before she even take care of herself.
Wow.
And so as I'm raising my kids, I'm just like, I want to raise them and make sure that they get to have the childhood that they want. And sometimes, I want to say this, some of family members don't appreciate the ways that I'm raising my kids. But when I look at my kid, but I'm like, they're happy. They're great.
Yeah.
Sorry that I give them the freedom to say, because with my kids, like they'll come and I said, and they have to say something. I say, yeah, speak freely. As long as you're respectful
Yes.
and you're able to tell me what you're feeling, I want to hear it.
Yes.
I want to hear what you're feeling. I'd never want you, but I want you to express. And in my boys, when they're crying, I said, it's okay to cry. You know, let it out and feel it so that we can process it and work it through. So they're allowed. So in our home, I'm like, this is their home. They should be whatever they want to be in their home. And so I always also take pleasure when my kids go places like, your kids are great. And I'm like, oh, that's good to hear. You know, so I love my kids. I'm friendly with my kids, but I'm also like a parent. So they know also like, mom, don't play. Like they will tell you they're scared of me, but
I think what you were just
they should be a little bit.
speaking on,
a little,
yeah,
you know, it's okay.
is a lot of the older generation, I can speak for my mother and aunts, they don't see our new parenting as bravery. They see it as betrayal.
Yes, it's so true.
You know?
It's so true.
How so? Betrayal of what?
Betrayal of what they parented us.
To me, like you don't spoke
Like
until you
it's
spoken
like-
to.
Got it.
Like the ways my mom parented me, I'm doing it very so differently. Not because I hate her, not because I get back, because I'm parenting a child in a world that wasn't the same when she raised me.
But she's like, oh, isn't the
But
way I did
she-
it good enough?
Yeah,
for
she doesn't
you?
look at it as like, wow, you're so brave to do something you've never done or you've never like seen done. She sees it as like betrayal. Like, this is how we did it. Why aren't you doing it?
Why
And
you
so
do
I
it
think
that
a
way?
lot
Yeah.
of women, I've talked to a lot of friends and a lot of women feel very isolated and alone in their new parenting style because the older generation doesn't look at it as like, that's cool. They're like, you're betraying us, or like, you think you're better than us, or like, oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, okay, well, wait till you have 2 kids. They kind of mock us like, well, yeah, like we did the best we could. And we're, yes, but the world you raised us in was our world. These children need a new world and a new style.
They do.
And I
And
think
so
For
you
sure.
have to be
Yeah.
able to just be like, I am brave and own that.
And
Maybe
I think
people
they
don't.
feel like they're offended by
They're
it because
offended.
it's kind of
My
like,
mom's
we did
offended.
a great job raising you. Look at you. You went to college. You went da 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 da. And I think I do agree because I do see sometimes there's like a trend that's going around where kids are being like, my parents was the worst. They didn't da da da. And I'm like, well, they did the best with what they know
Yeah.
during that time of what they have. That doesn't mean some of us didn't suffer because of it.
Mhm.
And I think they were just doing the best. I think what we're trying to do is just like, it's not like we're saying it was wrong. It's just, I'm just going to do it
Differently.
and I think we talk about this. Our children, I think what's different, and I'm seeing it a lot right now, some parents, they don't want to parent their children.
Yeah.
And that's why we're seeing so many behaviors and the things that we're seeing among these kids that are like young and behaviors, like especially in the system where I work, I'm like parents did not want to parent their kids. And I say, and all it takes is like, it's building that relationship, individual relationship with each of your children.
Yes.
Because the way I parent my oldest is not the way that I parent my daughter. The way that my 8-year-old is different. Like, so because of that individual relationship, because we take the time to invest in every single one of them, it's kind of look different. My oldest is the most sensitive, fragile 14-year-old that I know. So if I come to him and I start yelling at him, he does not understand, like, mom, like his heart is broken,
Yeah.
you know? And where my daughter, though, I have to get like,
You got to
I
be firm
let
with
her.
her.
Yeah. Like, we're gonna go butt head and we're gonna get it out and we're gonna handle it, you know?
Yes.
And so so it's just, and because of that, the respect level is different because me, I teach with like, I'm getting ready for the world that you don't know that's out there.
Yeah.
And right now you're not gonna like me because I'm teaching you. But then I hope when you leave here, you're like, wow, mom, like, thank you. Thank you. So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, parenting is hard. It requires a skill set that if you're not willing to be self-aware, to forgive, to learn, then you probably shouldn't be a parent.
No.
Yeah.
If you have one style and it's for all your children, like you need to man up as a parent.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you got to be able to know every single kid, to get it wrong, to get it right, to forgive, to try again, to ask for forgiveness. And you got to be
Yes.
humble enough to know that you're still trying to be like, I don't even feel like a parent. Like I'm still working through my own childhood trauma, let alone trying to parent kids that I'm projecting my trauma on. Right. And so it's like, if you don't understand the basic rule of parenting as a skill set and you're not constantly trying to build it, don't be a parent.
Yep. And I think with the point that Vanessa was making about parents not wanting to parent their kids, being comfortable and being okay with your kids being upset with you and being okay with saying no and not feeling like you have to over explain I'm not the type of parent that's like, just because I said so. Like I do think that you should explain, but you don't need to like over and over. Like there comes a point where I've had to tell my kids that I've explained it and they don't understand. And I have to say, listen, at this point, I need you to trust me. Yeah. There's times where you just don't understand and I'm trying to explain it to you. You just don't get it. And you just have to trust that do you believe that I care about you? Do you believe that I want what's best with you? I'm not making up rules, some arbitrary rules just to hurt you or torture you, give you a miserable life. Like it's for your good. And at some point, like, will you just trust me on that and then let this go? I have to say that over and over and over again.
Because you're taking the time. And I think that's what is missing. Like taking that time to explain that to them. Like, hey, I'm like in a home, like, electronics, it's a thing. Or why don't I have this? Well, these kids have social media. They're on Instagram. They're doing all this thing. Why can't I have it? I'm like, and I can't speak for their home. And that's the thing I always say. I'm like, I can't speak for their parenting. And I said, parenting is not a one size fits all. Yeah. We're all going to do it differently. And the reason I'm not, because I see things differently. So sorry, I'm not giving you this. I'm like, I'm not going to give you TikTok because your 14-year-old best friend have it. But I'm like, because I'm on there. And half of those things, sometimes I'm like, what the world, right? And so it's explaining to them like, trust me, trust me, there's a reason. And as you mature up, then you get extra stuff. You'll see why, even my daughter, he's like, why do we have to do chores? Like, isn't this your house? And I'm like, hold up, what?
And does she say to you the same stuff my kids say? My friends don't have to do chores.
And I literally am like, call up Cynthia right now. I'm going to talk to her mom. Like, hey, Cynthia's either lying or that mama need a check. Because we all got to be committed.
I get that all the time.
We all got to be
I get that all the time. But my friends, they do that. And I'm like, well, this is not your friend's house. And I'm like, what do you mean? I said, but listen, and same with my boys. Like they are doing laundry. At 8 years old, everybody's learning how to do the laundry. Oh, yes. And so but then my oldest, I find out that my daughter loves to do laundry. So he has been giving his laundry to my daughter to wash.
Does he at least pay her?
No, he doesn't pay her.
Oh my goodness.
There's so much change.
So I'm okay with that. So that's which is fine. But then I'm just like, and my husband's like, it's okay. And I'm like, but no. It's also a skill. Yeah. And I said that he's going to need to learn to and do it.
And she's got to learn to say no.
Exactly. And I said, you don't have to do it. And now, today he needed something washed. And she's like, Mom said not to do your laundry. And I was like, that's right.
That's good. That's right. Something that was interesting when I was thinking about this is in parenting, it's the skill set, but it's also going to be based off a set of unsaid rules within your own pod, right? Yeah. Like your own pack. Like I have a different set of beliefs, standards, bandwidth, barometer that I might be willing to negotiate if you don't. Like if someone was like, well, so-and-so, her family lets them have TikTok. Cool. And her family is going to have different consequences than what I'm willing to put up with. Or her family is going to have different issues according to that. Yeah. And guess what? I'm going to have different issues when I don't allow social media or a phone. I'm going to hear the nagging. I'm the worst mom ever. I'm willing to deal with that. I'm not willing to deal with pornography and bullying. But guess what? That parent might have a different barometer and threshold. That's their own. That's not what I want to deal with. You know?
So true.
And so also not judging other families for what they're doing, but just being like, cool, if that's the set of problems they want to deal with, let your kid have TikTok. I am not willing to deal with that. Yeah. So we have different boundaries and I take a different hit. I'm the annoying mean mom. Right.
And and I have to tell my kids that too, because I'm like, well, you have an iPhone and your friend has a flip phone. So there are times too that you see the difference. So I think that as we are raising kids, like as a parenting, it is hard. This time I'm just like, them kids. Have you ever heard the thing on TikTok that say F them kids?
F them kids.
F them kids.
Why didn't anybody stop us before we had?
But I love them though. It's great. I know.
I want to hear from each one of you something that you're doing differently than how your mother did it. Like maybe how about like something that maybe you're continuing that you liked that your mother did, and maybe something that you're doing differently. I'll start. My mom was always really good at just like making meals, packing lunches. I got this for you. I found this little, shirt for you, or this outfit, like little gifts, that just showed me that she thought of me and that she cared about me. I loved that part of when she was raising me. And one of the things that I love about my mom is, you guys were just talking a bit about, some of the generations, our parents being like this, we raised you well. How come you don't do the same thing? My mom actually has approached her parenting with a lot of humility. She did a lot of wonderful things as a mother, and there was a lot of things that she wished she had done differently. And she's very vocal about that. And we're all very aware of it. And there's been a lot of like hugs and forgiveness. And we know that you did the best you could with, the knowledge that you had. One thing that's been brought up, and we didn't notice it until I never even thought about it until recently when my mom brought it up. My mom said, I didn't hug you a lot when you were a kid. She says, and I don't hug you a lot now. And she said, I'm so sorry. And I want to hug you more, but it's something I have to work through. She's like, I realized that I didn't hug you a lot, and I still don't, because she had some sexual trauma when she was younger. And so there was a weirdness of like, do I hug my kids? Is that going too far? Like, am I molesting my children if I'm hugging? Like weird stuff like that. That wasn't true, but those were the demons that she had to kind of fight, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't even realize that until when she mentioned it to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. You didn't hug me a whole lot, and you don't hug me now. And so we kind of made an effort like, okay, we're going to hug each other
intentionally.
And now I'm having to think like, do I hug my children a lot? And like, I think I hug my children more than my mom did, but I think I want to hug them even more now. And so now I'm trying to think more of like just opportunities like, okay, I'm going to just give this kid a hug, even though he's 18 and it might feel weird, but I'm going to still do it anyway because he's still my son,
Yeah.
So those are the things I'm going to continue.
I love that.
Me? Ooh, okay. For me, I remember every Friday my mom would come and pick me up from school, and we would go like one-on-one to like a movie and get dinner. It was just like our time together, and then she'll do it with my brother. And then it was just kind of like that one-on-one. She's just intentional with her time. So I love that intentional. So with my kids, I think like I take that moment like for them to feel like the love, of like intentional time with every single one of them. Like my kids, I think they know like I'm that mom, like they can come to me no matter what I'm doing. They can come in like I'm like their safe space. Like they can come to me and like no fear. Like they can look. So I try to just have an intentional relationship with them and make sure that they get that time. It's just like I said with my teenager, I'm just like, he doesn't like hug, but like you say, every time he hug is leaving, it's like a hug and like intentional moment with them. So that I try really hard to make sure I do that.
I love it. So my mom, one thing she was really good at, and she still carries into grandmotherhood, is she's very theatrical. So everything was always really fun and joyful and special. So like birthdays were extra special and holidays were extra special, like extra magic. But even day-to-day life, like constant dancing in the kitchen, constant laughing, let's record a music video together. And I'm very much like that with my children. Like everything's really special. We dance, we sing. It's like joyful. Something that I'm doing a little differently. I had two things that kind of came to mind, but the first one was like, though it was still very joyful, love wasn't given freely. It was very conditional based off of performance or worthiness. Like you only got special attention or you only got praise if you did X, Y, and Z. And if you didn't, it was cut off. And so I just realized like sitting here, like I make sure my children like constantly feel the flow of love. Like it's not based off of performance. It's not based off of worthy or a religion. It's just like they always feel loved. And then another really big thing, probably the biggest cycle I feel like I've broken and I'm really proud of, especially in my lineage, because it still goes wide with some of my sisters struggling with it, is like I had mentioned in another episode, I was the little girl who always worried about how fat I am, how ugly I am. How do I look? Are people looking at me? Can I wear a swimsuit? Did that boy look at me? Like my thoughts were just, I could never have thoughts outside of how do I look? And so like, I see my girls now who are wearing whatever they want, shorts, t-shirts, bikinis. They don't care what they look like. They don't care if anyone's watching them. They love their body. And I'm just like, for me, I'm like, I have freed so much of their soul and their bandwidth to have other thoughts and other goals and dreams because they're not so bombarded and crippled with, I can't wear this, I can't love my body. Like they don't even know what I faced as a child with the constant criticism of, you can't wear this. And if you wear this, you're unworthy. And it crippled me. And so my girls, it's like, we don't even have the discussion on modesty is not how thick our sleeve is. Modesty is our intention. So I always say, if you're gonna wear that because you want to purposely steal your best friend's boyfriend, that's being immodest. Like you're trying to get boys to draw to look at you in your bikini. That's a very energy that's being immodest. If you're wearing it because you're going to the beach and it's hot and you don't care, we're wearing it. I wear bikinis and I show them, if I were to wear this because I wanted to steal my best friend's husband, that's unmodest. I want to lure people in, bad energy. But if I just want to wear it because it's hot outside and I don't want tan lines, we're going to wear it. So I've been really proud of how I have fully transformed myself and then changed my direct heritage, because my sisters and my family still do their own thing. And so I know it's just straight shot from me down to my girls. And I'm really proud of that.
I love that.
I love
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Man, I love hearing all of this, you guys. For me, I'm blessed that I mean, my mom and my dad, I never had to doubt their love for me or feel like it was earned, or lots of hugs, still lots of hugs. So I loved having that growing up. It felt very safe. And, which is interesting because the thing that I'm trying to do better on is, give my kids trust. And it's more about like the communication or the rules, not so much not feeling safe or loved, but I trust my children, and like, I don't have a curfew. They just let me know where they are, what they're doing, about when they'll be home. And I've given them that trust, and it's only taken away if they break it, and they haven't, luckily. Whereas that was a big friction point in my home growing up. If you weren't home by 10 on weeknights and midnight on weekends, and this is pre-cell phones, and I'd be in a friend's car and I'd say, hey, you said you could get me home by 10. And they're like, well, you live closest to me and I have 3 other people to drop off.
Yeah.
So
but then
you're
freaking out inside. Yeah.
And even if it was 1 minute, and I felt like, so then I kind of gave up. I was like, well, if I'm going to get yelled at, whether it's 1 minute or half an hour,
might as well be half an hour.
I'm not going to stress my friends out. I'll let them know anyway. So I think that's helped have, I don't know, my children feel empowered as well as loved, because we still lots of hugs. But
I love that, because it's just like they respect you because you've created that space for them. Yeah, that you don't have that curfew, you don't have that. It's just like the respect, like, she's trust us with that. So in return, that shows respect. Like, I'm gonna be home at a decent time, or I'm gonna communicate with my mom that, hey, So I think that speaks volume, because sometimes I work with teenagers in foster care. It is the battle of the battles, right? Because they have curfews, they have things. But then when you're trying to explain to them, like, hey, we'll give you this, but when you give it, they run a mile, right? And so you're like, that's why now there's restriction, because you don't, there's no trust, and you don't respect what we are putting in place. So,
and it even extends to religion. I have told my children, I don't have like a rule that you have to choose the same religion as me. That's a personal choice.
That's a whole topic right there. That's a whole
I'll respect you if you do something different. And I don't know.
I feel the same way. We've talked with our kids too about it. We said, listen, like, this is the way we're raising you to believe this, but we know that at some point you're going to have to make this decision your own. Yeah. And we would rather you be honest with us and tell us, hey, I don't believe that, than you fake it. You know what I mean? Like, at least I know what you think and we can talk about it, versus you faking it and then I never know.
It allows them to be genuine to themselves.
You give them their agency.
Okay, wait, then do you think you're still giving them agency if you baptize them at 8?
Well, yes, I don't do that because I'm not LDS. So I'm evangelical, and so the way that we do it is when the child decides that they are ready to get baptized, then they do
the same thing.
So like my boys have, but my daughter still hasn't, and she's 10. And so I don't know when she will. She might not do it until she's 15. She might not do it until she's 30.
One of my kids, like when they went to get the whole, like, are you ready? My oldest literally looked at us and was like, I wasn't ready.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I love that.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Woo-hoo.
Thanks for joining our Brave Conversation. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a positive review and subscribe to this podcast for more Brave Conversations. We encourage you to be brave and continue the conversation on our social media platforms everywhere at The Brave Talk Show. See you next week.
How you do the things that you do.